before you watch anything, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Do it right now. Hurry up. Did you hit the like button? Okay. Did you hit the subscribe button? And now hit the bell icon so you can get notifications when I do my videos. And you can also share this video. Okay, anyway, now we're gonna start the video. Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me for another one of my YouTube videos. Today I wanted to dive into the topic of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and how all that went down, and the media really gave her a hard time. And once they decided to step down from their royal duties, a lot of people gave her flack and blamed her for everything, and rumors started to spread about how evil she is and all these things that she's done wrong. And I can totally relate to that situation. I feel like almost any time, I won't say every time, but just about any time a man decides to grow up and do right by his family, anyone who's used to him being inside of this box, being this idea of who he's supposed to be, they're going to be disappointed in that. And they love the person, so they're going to usually blame the woman because she's the person that caused him to make the change that ripped everybody out of their comfort zones. And I'm saying all this not knowing what's happening inside those walls, not knowing the actual conversations that have taken place, not having any kind of association or affiliation with the family whatsoever, other than being a fan of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. So I am no expert. I have no sources. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going based off of sheer opinion, based on what is being told in the news. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, I wanted to share my own experience as someone who's been in an interracial relationship and has also been the person that people blamed for the reason that a man decided to grow up a little bit. I'll just talk about one specific interracial relationship specifically that I was in several years ago. Me and the guy started dating, and he introduced me to his friends right away. And these are people that I knew before, so it was really not that I was necessarily meeting them for the first time, but I guess I was meeting them for the first time as this person's girlfriend. I can tell that everybody was kind of uncomfortable because just out of nowhere somebody brought up slavery and somebody started talking about racism, and it's kind of like okay, this is really weird. So I could just tell that I'm not sure if they were racist the entire time, because like I said, I knew these people before, I've hung out with those people before, but maybe there are some people who like black people or like people of other races. They just don't want them intermixing and dating. I have heard of that before in my life, people actually admitting that. So it could have easily just been one of those situations where there's some racism. It just wasn't blatant like rebel flags and racial slurs racism. It's all racism, but you get what I'm trying to say. And somebody just randomly brings up interracial relationships and racism, and it was just really awkward and unnecessary conversation to have. These people that I knew before just seemed a little bit weird and kind of a little bit like hesitant, like they didn't know what the heck was going on. Then as our relationship progressed, I did notice that he was broke all the time. And I noticed that when he hung out with his friends, that was the reason why he was broke, because they're spending money on going out drinking, going to bars, going out to eat all the time. They go on a really expensive vacation once a year. So he always had no money, like hundreds of dollars per month. He was just hemorrhaging money for no reason. And for somebody who lived with his mom, that should not be happening. Like, you should be saving money. You should be able to have your own place and not just blowing all your money on crap. So I did bring it up. I did mention that, and it was a no pressure situation. It wasn't like you have to do this or you don't have to do this. But he made the decision that, you know what? That does make sense. We were going to move in together, and he wanted to make an effort and turn over a new leaf and start saving his money to put towards us getting a place of our own. Now, two things here. The first thing is the guy wound up being a sleaze. He was telling his friends all kinds of horrible things about me. One of his friends told me that he was just weird altogether, and that should be just my way out to just let it go. He wound up being very narcissistic, and there were just signs that I ignored the whole entire time. But that's a whole nother situation. So fast forward to the story. We had an argument. It was really a stupid argument, and he broke up with me and never wanted to get back with me again. Now, as I began to talk to his friends during that whole breakup time, they were like, well, you were the one who told him to stop talking to us. You were the one who told him to stop, hanging around with us. And I didn't tell him. I just said, hey, you're spending a lot of money, so maybe not so much. So sometimes when you choose not to spend a lot of money, you can't do the things that you used to do anymore. If everybody wants to go out and have pizza, but you're saving money, you can't go out and have pizza. That doesn't mean that you can't not talk to your friends. It just means you're doing less things that require you to spend money. But I got blamed for everything. And these things, the things that I got blamed for, were from people who didn't even know me well enough to make those assumptions about me. And then the people who knew me, it was just kind of like, come on, do I strike you as that kind of person? I can totally see how allegedly in Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's situation, how she would get blamed for everything. And it's frustrating, because how come a man can't do the right thing by his family without everybody attacking the woman and blaming the woman? And they're like, she just wanted to use him to be a princess. Well, that's not happening anymore. So that theory is kind of out the window. I think that it should be something that is applauded, that someone would love a woman that much that they would be willing to completely uproot their life so that their wife and their child can be safe and secure. Because as we've seen in the media repeatedly, time and time again, this woman has been dragged through the mud. And I wish we lived in a world where more people would actually use critical thinking skills. Before she was a royal, you never heard stories in the news about her being mean and her being ruthless and her being rude. I think that it's not something that would just all of a sudden happen now that she's a royal. You kind of are who you are. It's really hard for people to just snap and change automatically, whether it be good change or bad change. People are kind of consistently the way they're going to be after a certain age. So it'd be kind of hard for me to believe that she's been nice, all of a sudden snap and be mean. So I wish people would take that into consideration, that this woman who's been a humanitarian, a philanthropist, now all of a sudden she's a villain and she's horrible and she's tearing the whole entire family apart. It just doesn't make any sense. It just seems like people were making up stories to try to make her out to be this horrible person that I really, at the core of my being, don't believe she is. But then again, I don't know her personally, so I don't know. And especially with her being a Black woman, she's biracial, but I'm going to say Black. With her being a Black woman, a lot of times, psychologically, people don't like when Black women step out of their place. Black women are supposed to be stereotypically bottom of the totem pole, not that educated, not that attractive, we're on welfare, we're struggling, we're the stereotype. So anytime for somebody who has racist issues in their head, anytime a black woman steps out of that box, it's like, wait a minute, you're not in your place. So I need to shrink you back down to your place. And she's very attractive. She's educated. She's got money. She's contributing in a positive way to society. And sometimes people can't handle that. Sometimes black people can't handle seeing other black people in the same way those racist people can't stand it. Anytime, I know just me personally, I'll use myself as an example, growing up in a school that was predominantly black, I was always made fun of and told that I was trying to be a white girl. I was talking like a white girl. I was thinking I was better than everybody else when I honestly wasn't. I spoke how I spoke. How you speak has nothing to do with your ethnicity unless you're from a specific part of town, and then you might pick up on the dialect of that town. I didn't try to act like I was better than anybody. My mom taught me manners. She taught me how to do research and how to look things up. So I just carried myself according to that. And if somebody is not living up to the standards that they really believe in the core of their being that they should be standing up to, but you are living up to those standards, it makes them feel like crap. And they're either going to encourage it or tear it down. And in Meghan Markle's case, a lot of people decided to tear her down. I've seen this a lot in very conservative Republican type white guys. Someone like me is basically the Antichrist to them. And you have to think back to the time of slavery. Somebody like me would probably, and this is honest conversation, somebody like me would probably be the person that the master would use for their own sexual satisfaction. And I wouldn't be respected. I wouldn't be seen as anything more than somebody to meet the master's needs. So a lot of people still have that mentality to this day. So a black woman doing anything other than the stereotype and what you would expect a black woman to be doing needs to be put back in her place. And that's unfortunate. And there are so many things we're still dealing with as far as how we are in correlation to how things were back in the times of slavery. And it's unfortunate. And as a society, we are still suffering the emotional trauma of that particular time. And it's a conversation that I feel like we don't have enough. And we see this as far as the distance between light skin and dark skin black people, how people view black women, how black men view black women, you know, how white people view black people. I know, just to give you an example, having white people tell me that I don't speak like a black person or I'm cute for a black person, and I'll do a whole nother video on that because that's a whole nother thing. But I think the biggest thing that the whole Meghan Markle, Prince Harry thing has taught us is when you compare the way that Kate Middleton acts versus how Meghan Markle acts, Kate Middleton is seen as a perfect angel, and I'm a fan of both of them. So I'm not speaking that I don't like Kate Middleton. I love both of them. I think both of them are cool. I watched their weddings. I love their fashion. But the way that Kate Middleton is being treated, she can do no wrong. She is great. She is amazing. Meghan Markle, if she breathes at the wrong time, if she exhales at the wrong time, the media is going to tear her apart. And I think that is so unfortunate. I think that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were a breath of fresh air. They were a freshening up of the monarchy. And I think it's so unfortunate that it came to the point of them having to pull away to protect Meghan Markle's sanity. At the same time, I think it's a lesson to a lot of men as far as how far would you go for the emotional and mental safety and well-being of your wife, of your family. I was in a situation where family was allowed to disrespect me and say whatever they want and do whatever they want. So it's really surprising to me and refreshing to me to see a man say, "Nuh-uh, not in my house, not on my time." So I want to commend Prince Harry for that. And I just want to keep Meghan Markle, prayed up, positive vibed up, because the world is giving her a really hard time right now. And it's so funny seeing women, want this ideal man who would put them first, and then we get an example of that and they're like, we don't like that, it's because of her. Like, what the hell are we doing, ladies? Come on. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys are staying safe and having a great day, and I will see you in my next video.